Welcome back to Market on Close. It's time for Options Corner. Today we're going to look at Lululemon, which got a downgrade from JP Morgan. They downgraded shares to neutral, slashed the price target as well. Shares now down 40% so far in 2025. Joining us to take a look at the charts is Rick Ducat, our lead market technician here on the Schwab Network. Now, Rick, as we take a look at Lulu, they did pose a little bit of a nice recovery on the day, not in the red for now, but certainly not a good day for them to get downgraded to neutral from overweight.
Yeah, and to just focus on the broader consumer discretionary first, there's been a lot of focus on apparel names lately in this field because of the tariff situation here. It's a big thing for this industry. Many clothing retailers have been fretting about the possible impacts of these tariffs on foreign-made apparel, particularly with Vietnam. We had some trade deals, news about the United States with that country earlier this month here. So a lot of big things that could have big effects on this industry. And if we look at our sector comparison chart, you can see that consumer discretionary modestly outperforming the S&P 500, but the clothing retailers are underperforming by a good deal. I mean, and Lulu's not even the worst one in the group. Deckers is down 28%, Lulu's down 24%. Nike's almost flat during the past year here, but I really want to jump into the stock first.
As we look at the stock, they've not had a great time year to date. They're 41% down. The year looks a little bit better. And analysts not really negative on Lulu in this note. Their issue is with their current inventory. And they said they basically had a miss on the colors they chose for the season. That's what the primary driver behind the note was. And for the downgrade, that and the macro backdrop that has some decreased store traffic.
Yeah, I mean, little things like that can make a big deal here. If the consumer discretionary sector as a whole trending upward here, you can see that we've broken out above a key level there in that 218 mark. But if we were to just kind of move on to Lululemon, though, going forward here, you can see there we've crossed above that volume profile area there on that chart. But Lululemon really fascinated me today, though, because it happened to be a few subjects that, anecdotally speaking, I know a bit more about than you might think here. So in addition to the financial news, we've seen JP Morgan downgrades, Goldman Sachs, and a few other firms had lower price targets. Two stories caught my eye. One is that Lululemon is opening its first store in Italy as part of its global expansion. I think even a cursory observer could tell I'm not a fashion expert, but I'm Italian American. I've been to Italy. I have family in Italy. I can tell you Italian people are a good deal more fashion conscious than Americans. You don't really see people wearing athleisure wear at all unless they're going to work out. I thought that was a very odd kind of choice here that stuck out to me. But, you never know. It kind of gives me the same feeling as when McDonald's opened a location in the Louvre in France. You know what I mean? But anyway, though, that's one story here. But then the other one is that Lulu is suing Costco for allegedly selling knockoffs of a popular men's pants item. Lulu pants are $128, $20 at Costco, though. And a Jeffries note, too, kind of talking about this story, said that Lulu is moving away from its foundational ideas of these yoga-inspired philosophies. And my wife was a yoga teacher. I've taken a ton of yoga classes. I kind of saw that that's how people are. They like that was a big part of the brand. It's kind of this story now. Great brand that people love, gets too big, loses what made it distinct and special in the first place here. But, to kind of go back to more of the technical aspect here, Lulu is a chart near its lows. We are falling significantly here. We are basically knocking on the door of those 52-week lows near 220 or so, threatening to move even below the small amount of support that we've managed to make in that level. 226 was the standout level to me there. RSI compressing in a triangular shape here. And in the bearish territory here, look for a push back above that red line near 245 to see if the bulls can kind of get their act together a little bit there and return to that volume node area, that point of control near about 262. One more longer term chart, though, I want to show a 10-year weekly chart of Lulu. You can see that over the long term, we just keep making lower lows. If you pressed me, I would say there's not a whole lot of price activity to give you support, maybe around 215 based on a brief consolidation point. That might be one area to look.
And, it's interesting, Rick, what you point out about Lulu and it moving away from the original style of the brand and the original function of the brand, because we're very much moving into this world of people wanting honesty, not just in the ingredients in our food, but what's in our clothing, what does your brand stand for? And people are buying things based on that. So I think there is absolutely some worry if you're moving away from that open, honest, this is our philosophy brand, that there's potential issues. And also, this rise of dupes has become more attractive as they've moved away from some of that ethos that they originally had in their brand. But as that chart indicates, they're one of the late earners reporters. So, it feels like they just reported, even though it was Q1. They aren't up again until September 4th. So, the only thing that's going to be driving them right now is headlines and analyst moves. As far as you saw in volume today on this note, what did it look like for Lulu?
Yeah, decently active day for Lulu here. About a little less than 23,000 options contracts last I checked here. Roughly 57% or so were calls here. Open interest was pretty interesting too, though. We would focus for this particular session on the August expiration here, but high open interest at September and December and January monthlies as well. It was kind of high across the board there. But if we were to think about the expected move versus the open interest range, our next chart here, you can see that the range for the call side of the open interest, about 230 to about 390 there. You can see as well the highest level is near around 300 or so. Versus the range 198.50 to about 250 at the time I checked here. So, potential for a pretty big upside based on the activity that we're seeing. Certainly not saying it's going to happen. Just there seems to be maybe a bit more optimism than you might think based on the chart here. To the put side, if we go to our next chart here, our range 180 to about 280 on the put side for August here, the highest activity at that 210 range.
It is interesting to look at, some divergence in opinions when it comes to this brand for sure. As far as any trades, were there any remarkable or notable trades that you found?
Yes, one big one was a bullish opening trade. It appeared to me the volume in this contract was greater than the open interest, so it seems like it must be an opening trade. Plus 1,000 August 15th, 230 strike calls at a 560 debit. Nice, easy math, $560,000 debit here. Shorter term bullish opening trade.
Rick, we appreciate it. Thank you for breaking down Lulu for us today. Again, that's Rick Ducat, our lead market technician here on the Schwab Network.